A man who has never fallen is a man who has never tried. So, while you may have fallen, know that this is not the end. It may feel like it. It may feel like something inside you has been broken. But falling is not what destroys a man. Giving up is. The fall is painful. The memory of what happened may hurt for a while. But you have to understand something. The fall is not the final chapter. It is only the place where you will be tested. And what you do now matters more than what knocked you down. Because many men fall. Many men make mistakes they wish they could erase. But not every man rises again. Not every man turns pain into discipline. Not every man has the courage to face himself after life has humbled him. And that is where the difference begins. Not in whether you fell, but in whether you let the fall define you. You cannot change what happened. You cannot undo any mistakes. You cannot erase the moment that brought you here. But you can decide what happens from this point. You can use the past as punishment, or you can use it as a lesson to learn from. That choice will determine what path you go down. Because if you keep letting the past hold you back, you will keep suffering from the same mistake. And eventually, you will start believing failure is your identity. But it is not. What happened to you is not the end. What you failed at is not the limit of your capabilities. It just means there is room to grow. But you have to get back up and be willing to learn from the mistakes you made. That is the part no one can do for you. People can encourage you, but no one can do the work for you. At some point, you have to face yourself. You have to be honest with the thoughts you keep running away from. Because the truth is not there to destroy you. The truth is there to wake you up. You have to ask yourself what this failure is trying to teach you. You have to ask where you ignored the warning signs. And that kind of honesty is uncomfortable. But comfort will only hold you back. Comfort lets the wound grow deeper. Comfort makes a man feel safe while his life is quietly falling apart. It is better to face the truth and improve than to be comforted and stay the same. Because if you are always protected from the truth, you will never become strong enough to learn from it. And strength is exactly what you need to rise after you fall. Not pity. Not another story that makes staying down feel acceptable. You need strength, honesty, and discipline. You need the courage to look at your own life and say, this cannot be where I stay. That is where getting back up begins. It begins with a decision, a quiet decision. A decision to stop letting the fall become your home. A decision to stop dragging old pain into new days. Because pain will either teach you or trap you. It will either become fuel or become chains. And if you are still breathing, it means you still have a chance to change. If you are still here, the story is not yet over. You may feel like you are at rock bottom, but rock bottom can become the way up if you use it as fuel instead of an excuse. At some point, you have to gather the lesson and leave the punishment behind. You have to stop asking why you fell and start asking what you can learn from the fall. Because the future has a price, and that price is paid today with the strength and discipline you have now. It may not be enough to finish everything, but enough to take the first step forward. And starting is the first, most important victory. Because if you never start, life will just pass you by. You become a passenger in your own life, watching others live the life you've always dreamed of. And this haunts a man. It follows him into everything he does. There is no distance you can run to hide from the dreams you never fulfilled. So the only thing left to do is to start. Take action, consistent action, every day. Most of life is about showing up, even when you would rather disappear, when the weight is still there, when the memory still hurts. You show up anyway. That is what builds a man. Not one perfect comeback, but one honest day after another. One promise kept. That is how strength returns. Quietly, slowly, through repetition, through showing up. The future does not grow from intention alone. It grows from what you invest into the present. And today is asking you a simple question. What will you do with the time you have been given? Everyone gets the same 24 hours. And time does not kneel for the wounded man. Time does not pause because you are tired. It simply moves. And every day becomes either evidence of your rise or another copy of your fall. That may sound harsh, but it is truth. Today does not ask you to rewrite your whole life at once. Today only asks you to begin again. Today gives you another chance to move and think differently. That is the gift of the present. It is the only place where the past can become useful. It is the only place where regret can become discipline. So do not waste today focusing on what went wrong yesterday. Do not waste today building a case for why you cannot change. Take action on moving forward and building the life you want. Action is how the past loses power. Discipline is how regret becomes useful. Showing up is how the broken part of you learns it is not in command. You may not feel strong yet, but get up anyway. Do something today that moves you forward. That is how you rebuild. Not by pretending the fall did not happen, but by making sure it did not happen for nothing. A man who can keep rising despite the setbacks is a man who commands respect. That kind of man carries something different. He does not speak like a man untouched by life. He does not move like a man who has never been tested. He carries proof. Proof that pain did not keep him down. Proof that failure did not hold him back. That is why the test matters. Because without the test, you learn nothing. Without pressure, strength remains hidden. Without the fall, some men never discover what it means to rise. So do not curse every hard thing that brought you here. Some of it taught you. Some of it sharpened you. And now you have a choice. You can use it, or you can keep suffering from it. You can learn, or you can stay stuck. But understand this. Life does not require you to feel ready before you rise. It only requires that you rise. Unsteady, quiet, tired, ashamed if you have to, but rise. Because every time you rise, you teach yourself something. You teach yourself that weakness is not permanent. You teach yourself that a man can fall and still rebuild. And that lesson matters, Because one day, someone may need the version of you that survived this. One day, your wisdom may become someone else's shelter. The strength you build now may protect a future you cannot yet see. So do not throw away the lesson because the classroom was painful. Do not abandon the future because the past was heavy. Do not let one chapter become the whole book. You have to get back up because it is necessary. Get back up and face the truth. Get back up and use the lesson, because today can become a new beginning, or it can become another copy of yesterday. That decision belongs to you. No one can make it for you. Only you can become the man you need to be. Even now. Even after everything. Even if your confidence is gone, you can rise. And when you do not look for applause. Do not wait for the world to notice. Just stand. Take the next step. Do the next right thing. Stick to what you know you should be doing. Let today become evidence that the failures of yesterday did not win. That is how a man comes back. Quietly. With discipline. With honesty. With the decision to stop being buried by what was meant to build him. A man who has never fallen is a man who has never tried. And while you may have fallen, this is not the end. This is the place where you rise. This is the place where you learn. This is the place where you stop using the past as an excuse and finally turn it into wisdom. So get back up and try again. Because the man who keeps rising is the one who becomes unstoppable.